Hello, welcome to the Scramble and Gamble Preview show. My name is Kieran Moss, and today I'm joined by UFC Featherweight Darrick Minner. What's up, man? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you? What you call it? How's training getting on? We're about 3 weeks out from the fight now.
Yeah, man. Training's great. Training's great. I've probably made more leaps and bounds in the last 2 months than I've made in the last probably 5 years. So it'll be good.
Yeah, and that's a long stretch. You've had quite a lot of fights. Was it about 37 fights now you had this stage?
This I've had 36 pro. So 36 pro. I had before I turned pro. I had I think 14 or 15 amateur. So yeah, we're going on number 51, I think, in the cage. So.
Plenty of experience. You're talking about the leaps and bounds you're making. That due to the switch down to Glory MMA?
Yeah, man. I've never really had this type of notice. We had about 8 weeks for this fight, and I've done my own thing for quite a while now. I've done just picked and chose where I went, when I went, and then if I'd go away for camp, it'd be like 2.5, 3 weeks maybe, and then. Yeah, man, I've been down there with James Krause, and man, he's one of the best in the game, and so in the squad down there and being pushed every day by, high quality training partners and all that has just gave me a better look on how I'm feeling, I guess. I mean, how much I've improved. I can feel the difference and all that. So.
Yeah, it seems to be revered down there. The likes of Tim Elliott and all that train just pushing each other. Iron sharpens iron down there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's so many. I think we are at. James has 14 guys in there in the UFC. That's not including all the up and comers, all the guys that have fought on the Contender Series. I mean, there's amateurs are in there that will beat a lot of the guys in the UFC, I believe. So that you really haven't heard yet. So it's gonna be good, man. James Krause got something special down there, and I'm just glad they're allowing me to be a part of it and part of the squad. So.
Yeah, well, at least now there's a lot of notice coming into this fight. This is biggest fight of your career against Charles Rosa. He's been a massive name in the UFC. He's been in the division for a long, long time. How are you set coming up towards this?
Man, I love the matchup, man. I mean, he's been a name, but like it's not like he's just because he's freaking beating people up, knocking people out, submitting people. I mean, what does he have? One or maybe two finishes in the UFC. He's 4-4 in the UFC, and he's 12-4. So it's not like obviously he's got a name because he's got a couple fight of the night performances. He's got a submission of the night performance, but man, I think. I don't know. I don't realize that like he's just been in the UFC a while, and so that's why I think he's got a name. I don't think it's because he's just going out there and starching people and gaining a name off that. It's because he puts on a performance and he's a tough kid, man. He's tough. He's a tough guy. He doesn't go away, and so I think that's where he's getting his name off of.
Yeah, he's been in there with a lot. He's been in there with a year and Bryce Mitchell. That's why a finish against him, your name would be elevated very much.
Yeah, man, and that's the plan, man. Bryce Mitchell couldn't finish him, but I mean, and that's okay. I plan to. I don't plan in going in there and going decision. But if it happens, I know that my game is a lot different now, and so James Krause has got my fight IQ way better than what it has been in the past, and yeah, man, you're just gonna see a whole new me, and we're gonna see how it plays out in the fight. So I'm happy and glad that it's going well. So
That's one thing, because watching back some of your old fights 5, 6 years ago, there's a tendency to nearly rush in straight away. And listen to your interviews after the main fight. You were talking about how having James Krause in the corner, it's more patient, methodical, just fight IQ wise, have a whole better understanding of the game.
yeah, man, and that's what he's so good. He's so good up here with the fight game, and he's just everywhere else. And I plan on being a finisher that I am. I plan on going in there and finishing guys, but there's going to be a little more fight IQ on the way of doing it. Like, I mean, I'm not going to be sacrificing as much as sacrificing position for submission anymore. I'm going to get him down. I'm going to make sure I'm working, punching him, beating him up until I finish him, and like I have a lot of finishes. I don't plan on stopping there, but I'm just going to be more better about how I go about it. Sometimes I give up position for submission. Sometimes it works against me, and
Well, a lot of time it's worked for you. 22.
Different method to the game now.
Yeah, a lot of time it's worked with you though. 22
Hello.
finish it. How can you're still on? Yeah.
Sorry, no, we're good. We're good now. It was cutting out.
Yeah.
We're good
Well,
now.
a lot of time that's worked for you. 22 wins by submission. It's quite incredible that way. A lot of guillotines
man,
as well.
and I like to get in there and get out, man, and I don't like to hang around. But
You're not paid by the hour.
Yeah, we definitely don't, and I think people underestimate me a lot of the times. I think a lot of these guys just underestimate me, and I think hopefully Charles ain't doing that. Hopefully he's not doing that, but he probably is. They took the fight, and yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, when your last fight against TJ, that seemed to be coming out of the fight that you were a massive underdog coming in, that you were overlooked, and you made them pay for it. So hopefully the
Yeah,
same
man,
comes in.
that's cool. I didn't. There was no one just going to come in there and make a name off me and stuff like that. And yeah, TJ, he's gonna be a good man. He's gonna be good in the UFC, and he's a young kid. And I just being a massive underdog like that at what was I 24 and 11. I have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of high level experience. People don't understand the guys that I've fought outside the UFC before getting to the UFC. I don't think people realize that. And so, I definitely have that kill or be killed mentality, and I think that's it's played against me, and so I think that's why I was getting underestimated so much. But he had this big hype, and I derailed that, and now it's time to go start picking off these guys like Charles Rosa and making a name for myself.
Yeah, because that seems to be happening a lot more now. Is people are not coming into the UFC at 4-0 and 5-0. People like Yuri Prohaska and Stylebender, they're waiting their time. They're building up before they come into the UFC. So when they do, they're ready to make their mark.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. I don't know. I think the UFC goes through stages. Like sometimes they want the next prospect, the 7-0 guys, the 8-0 guys, but then they get guys like myself or like my teammate Kevin Kroom. Like they get in there and we're like, we have these massive records. And we've been there, done that. And so nothing's strange to us. And so when they put us against these guys, we're just out there and we're going to perform, and that's what we do. And so we've just been around, and yeah, man, I think they're realizing what that does for the sport and the matchmaking.
What called training wise? How are you weight wise now coming in, starting to watch the weight?
Man, last weight cut was probably one of the best weight cuts I've ever had. And I started using Tyler Minton,
The nutritionist.
nutrition. And yeah, man. And it's worked wonders. Like I'm right now, I'm about, maybe waking up like a pound or two more than what I cut from my last fight. So we're making leaps and bounds with that too on how to control, just listening to somebody. Used to be, I just would go in there and just I'd go through the weeks and figure it out by myself and not do it the right way. And I think that had a lot to do with why I was, the second round would come around and my arms would be tired. Everything would be just soaked. But now I'm getting my nutrition to meet my performance. And I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, that professionalism now between having James and Dakota in your corner, having a nutritionist, it's a massive change. That's why it's insane looking back to see you making bantamweight when you were younger.
Oh man, that was
So skinny.
people don't. I got so many bad weight cut stories in my life, man, and there was a lot, man. I mean, from passing out in saunas to just random stuff, and I just moving up to featherweight probably should have happened way before it did. I kept good matchups kept coming along and matchups I would like, and I shouldn't have. Probably my last 5 or 6, maybe 10 fights at 135, 140 shouldn't have had. I should have been a 45er then, because I'm never been a small 45er, even when I fought 45 a couple of times in the younger days. So
Yeah, no, looking back, 'cause you have broad shoulders, and watching back there, it's a very really skinny frame. It's crazy to think
Oh
that you made it.
man, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what at 145 now, they've just made the title fight with Ortega and Volkanovski. If you were to give a prediction, which way do you see that going?
Man, I have Ortega winning that fight. I mean, just the way he looked his last fight, man, was just leaps and bounds. He created himself, on the improvements he's made, and especially in like his stand up and stuff. I think he wins that fight. I think we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a tough fight, but I have Ortega.
Yeah, no, what you call it. I think a lot of people kind of overlooked him once Max Holloway bet him, but he came back and proved a lot of people wrong.
For sure, for sure.
What you call it? I was just reading up. Your brother is fighting tonight.
Yeah. My middle brother fights tonight. He's 108. He's fighting 185 tonight. He usually goes in 85, between 85 and 70, but he's making his third pro fight appearance tonight. So, yeah, looking to go get that second win. So,
Where is that able to watch anywhere or?
yeah, they stream it on fight.tv, and it's Dynasty Combat Sports in Omaha, Nebraska. So,
Yeah, make sure to check it out. Yeah, no, what you call it? That's really all. Is there anything you want to shout out or plug before?
yeah, man, no, just all my family, friends, my fans, my sponsors, everybody that's been with me on this journey. It hasn't there for a while. It kind of, before I got in the UFC, it kind of looked like we didn't know where we were going, but now we got a resurgence in my career. I'm with James Krause and the team at Glory MMA, and I'm about to make a climb to the top, man. It's gonna be fun.
Best of luck on that. Snatching necks and cashing checks. Darrick Minner.
Yeah,
Best
baby.
of luck.
Go.
February 20th. Make sure to
Thanks,
tune
brother.
in. Good luck.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem.